I'll see if he even if he even looks at it. I put a link for the song, for the theme song. You guys check that out so we can actually turn that up. It's getting to the point where I might need to make a new one or just featuring Reika because you're the most frequent person now.
Well, as I say, what about who you're doing the Adam Sandler movies with?
Oh, Jeremy, yeah.
You should do one with him too.
I'll pay Andre McDouchebag, the guy who made this theme, to make I'll have him make several different ones. I'll have him make one for the stuff that we're doing and have him make one for the stuff that Jeremy and I are doing. It'll be super fun.
Yeah, because then you'll still have this one.
I'll still have this one.
Anything in anyone.
Yeah.
Sounds good.
I still have the old Timon Show one that the same artist did, and even in that one, I still looked like a member of the Gorillas. So, so hey everybody, welcome to WeinerCast. I'm here with Reika.
Hello.
We're talking about some movies that we saw recently.
It's bad movies, though.
Bad movies.
Only bad.
Which one do you want to do first? I think we'll have a lot more fun with Cool as Ice, so we'll save that for the end.
Yeah, save it for last. Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
Super Mario Brothers. It's a movie that a lot of video game fans hate it. A lot of them love to hate it, and some people just love it, like I do. I know you didn't like it at all.
I'm not too familiar with the franchise. I only knew Mario and Luigi were plumbers and knew about the video game. I have played it once, maybe when I was a kid, and that was it. Family could not afford video game systems, so that was like my experience with it. So I wasn't too obviously familiar with this, but I don't know if I would have liked it if I had been familiar or not. That I'm not really sure, just because I know you had to explain a couple of the characters to me after we viewed the movie.
Yeah.
So I think that kind of, took me out of it a little bit.
Here's one of the things that a lot of the fans, the Mario fans, hated about it is that it was almost nothing like the source material at all.
Okay.
And that's one of the things that I love about it is it just became like its own thing, just featuring Mario and Luigi.
Okay.
Like they didn't even have the right princess. Like we're used to seeing Princess Toadstool. So they gave us Princess Daisy, who was a character in a Mario game that came out in like Game Boy that like not a lot of people played. So they gave us this whole wrong princess that we were like, where the fuck is Toadstool? And then when I learned like just like a year or maybe 2 years ago about like the stuff that happened behind the scenes for this movie, where like Bob Hoskins and like John Leguizamo were like drunk the whole time. And like at one point Bob Hoskins like hurt his wrist. So like like I guess throughout the movie he's wearing like a sling, or not like a sling, but like a wrist brace, whatever. And I was trying to, like when we were watching, I was trying to look for it. I couldn't find it. Because he was still pretty active, like shoving Luigi around or like dancing with Big Bertha, my favorite character in the movie.
Pretty cool. Like I obviously, like I said, I didn't know much about the characters, but she seems like someone who, might be nice to see a little more of her.
You could tell she runs shit.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and you don't want to cross her. She's pretty intimidating.
And she was the one who had those like shoes or boots, right?
Yeah, she had the jump boots. Yeah. because Mario in Japan, I guess he was known as Jumpman. So because he was known for jumping or whatever, just jumping on things and hitting stuff with his head. I as a kid, I thought he was hitting stuff with his head, but then you could see the little tiny sprite actually lifting his arm up, and his arm only goes as high as his head does because they got those little short, stubby arms. So like his arm only goes this high when it's fully extended. Wow. Maybe it goes like just a little bit higher, but yeah, that's a fully extended arm right there, opposed to, getting in there. Hentai Slayer 69 says, well. Mm-hmm. All right, and then he disappeared. Wow. This movie starts out like we get introduced to Mario and Luigi, and Luigi is really big into conspiracy theories. He's watching these television shows about like other dimensions and whatever, and Mario's all like, "You need to stop watching all that bullshit." Like we got work to do. The truck breaks down at the same time while Daisy's getting chased by King Koopa's children. In the movie, they're his nephews, but they're part of, it was Iggy and what were their names? Iggy and
I do not remember.
The whole time you're just like, fuck this movie.
Again, I think if I had known something a little more about the world and the characters, I may have been a little more invested.
Yeah. They're getting chased down, or she's getting chased down, whatever. Luigi gives her he's making a call, and he's like, "Here, you can use the phone instead because you're a pretty girl." Like
no, that's really it. Yeah.
Well, and then they have some Evian product placement when they're fixing the van.
Oh yeah.
It was nice. They're like, "We're not drinking this fucking overpriced water. We're dumping it on our radiator." Mm-hmm. Have you noticed how overpriced Evian is?
Yes. It's way too much.
I was working at
then seeing in an airport as well too. Then it's like, because everything's way more
overpriced. Yeah.
It's just even
one of those tiny bottles.
Yeah. It's even crazier then. So yeah.
I was working at someone's house one time, like just like setting up like a tent and whatever in their tennis court that they had in their backyard, like that people just casually have. And he's handing us Fiji. Like he brings us out a cooler full of Fiji water, just handing the shit out like it's great value. Like I'm like, whoa.
I remember, and we can talk a little more about teen idols and those teen magazines, but just speaking of Evian water, I do remember reading in one of those magazines that Shannon Doherty, because at the time I was reading it, she was on 90210, that she demanded that she had Evian water so she could wash her hair, because that's the only thing she would wash her hair with, was Evian water. That I remember that. So yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, just something as little as that product placement led us all the way to hair washing with.
That's the only product placement I really remember in the movie.
I feel like there was one later, but I don't remember what it was. I think it was one of those maybe where like in the background when we're in that other world, there had to have been something.
My favorite product placement ever, this is totally unrelated, is in the first Back to the Future movie, and it's for California Raisins. It's when he's coming right back to the future from the past or whatever and saving his parents and doing all that. There's a bum sleeping on a bench, as the DeLorean's coming through, whatever, and he just wakes up and like there's paper and like debris flying everywhere, and on the bench is California raisins, and apparently when I was watching the DVD with like director commentary and stuff on there, California raisins was pissed.
I just remember trying to collect them. Those were so much fun trying to collect those when I was a kid. Man, those are the greatest.
Man, I have a buddy that looks like one of them.
What?
Yeah. Anytime I see it, just like randomly see like a picture of that specific raisin, I take a picture of it and I'll send it to him, and he gets so mad.
Well, yeah. We don't look like one, but we want to collect them. I mean, you know. My favorite product placement, I know there's got to be some from like more recent movies, but there was one that just really cracked me up though. Back in 1968, don't know if you know this or not, the Monkees had a movie. Did you know that?
I didn't know that. I never seen it.
Okay, yeah, it is on YouTube. It's actually pretty good. It's weird, but it's good. And there's just a scene of Mickey Dolenz in the desert, and there's a Coca-Cola machine. And then they start playing the jingle for Coca-Cola as he's beating up the machine.
Oh my God.
I mean, how many times can you see it? I mean, where are you going to see that except for there, you know?
I'm going to have to check out this movie. Did I just look up the Monkees movie?
Yeah, it's called Head.
Head? All right.
It's from 1968. I used to have it on VHS when I was a teen, but since VHS is no more, you know.
I have a VCR.
Yeah, I don't have a TV. I don't have TV, so.
Oh, man. So.
I think this right now, the conversation is just showing the interest level for
the interest level of Mario Brothers. No.
How we just go.
So we find out, I forget how, and I've seen this movie like my entire life. Okay, boomer.
Yeah, I know I'm a boomer.
We find out they're
closer to 40 than I am 30, so yeah.
Wait, no, they start us out in the movie telling us that there's an alternate dimension where dinosaurs lived on and they evolved to becoming humans somehow.
Yeah.
And King Koopa, played by Dennis Hopper, he was fantastic in this role. By the way,
he's pretty good in like a lot of things he's been in. But no, yeah, he was good. I did enjoy him.
He developed a machine to either super evolve things or de-evolve things. And he's just been going on a de-evolution rampage throughout his entire New York, because the only thing that exists on their Earth is New York or Brooklyn. Everything else was just a wasteland.
I could say something right now, but I don't want to get in trouble. I feel like I could get in trouble.
Get in trouble.
Do it. Well, no. It's just, I mean, in general, I wouldn't, but I feel like that de-evolution thing is maybe what the MAGA supporters have gone under. Like the whole, like they've all been brainwashed by the, they've all gone under there, and when they come out, they have little red hats on.
Monkeys.
You don't know my political views, but I'm just saying. And I'm not winking with the sign out because it's a bad eye now. It's good. I got the medication in. So, because the last time I was on here, I think Hentai Slayer saw this maybe, but I had the wonky eye. I had a little bit of some eye issues going on. So.
You were right up here and just pale down here.
Yeah. Yeah. No.
Oh man. This movie then takes us for a wild ride as Iggy and his brother kidnap Daisy, bring her through the other dimension, through the sewer, because some other rival plumber company is going extremely out of their way to sabotage the Mario Brothers, when clearly they're already way more successful than them.
Yeah. Why would you want? I mean, yeah. I can see if they were at least successful, then I get it. But if you're already that successful, it's like, why even try? Like,
so they're just going completely out of their way just to sabotage these two freaking like plumbers that live in like a studio apartment, like together.
Yeah.
So they're fixing the thing. They're tracking Daisy down. They jump through a wall that brings them to the dinosaur Brooklyn. Now we're in dinosaur Brooklyn, where everybody's like either like a punk rocker or a prostitute or a police officer. Like that's the only people that exist in this world.
The 3 Ps. Police, prostitute, punk rocker.
I'm with it.
Yeah.
And we get introduced to Toad. Toad is a character that's in the video games.
Okay.
He's a little mushroom person.
Okay. And
in the cartoon, he talks like this. Like, hey, what's going on? Like, he's got the most irritating voice. Like, hey, Mario. But in this one, he's just like a little hippie dude that just likes to serenade every situation with his guitar. He likes to sing songs about King Koopa, who is a lot like Donald Trump. So it does make sense for the whole MAGA de-evolution.
And doesn't he have small hands?
He doesn't have small hands. He just had weird hands because he's really into sanitization. So he's like either like dipping in wax or he does the little mud bath thing. Wow, this movie has some fuck shit.
Yeah.
Like one of my favorite lines that Dennis Hopper has is when he's in the mud bath and he's like, there's something really fascinating about mud. It's clean and it's dirty at the same time. One of my favorite lines in the movie. Because it is. It's I don't know. It's just something. And King Koopa is never like that. He's supposed to be like a brooding he talks like he's kind of like a dragon or like a turtle. But this one, when he got de-evolved, he turned into like a dinosaur, like a Tyrannosaurus. Supposedly they're the king of the dinosaur kingdom. He said something like that, like I evolved from the T-Rex, fucking the most vicious, or whatever he says in there. Man,
yeah,
it kind of had a future that looked like the Back to the Future 2 when Biff became Donald Trump with the sports almanac and everything was all fucked up. How could anytime Donald Trump's in charge in a movie or a character that highly resembles the Trumpster, everything's a shit show.
It was foreshadowing.
It was easily foreshadowing what's going to be happening, or what has happened these past 4 years, anyway. So the Mario Brothers, they team up with Daisy. We find out Iggy and his brother were actually good guys the whole time. They were working for the Mushroom King, who has been de-evolved into fungus, and this fungus roams the entire city, and it helps out the Mario Brothers through many of their tasks. Like it became a trampoline at one point. It keeps on giving them random bombs to throw at the police. We get introduced to Big Bertha, the queen prostitute, who gives us jump boots, and she steals the stone piece because you need the last stone piece to merge the worlds back together so Dennis Hopper can destroy our Earth as he's already destroyed his Earth, and he's going to turn all of us into monkeys. That's Super Mario Brothers in a nutshell.
Yeah. So for me, this is something like that I've spoken to you about, but then I've talked to others about it too. This even goes back to like film school days too, depending on what film they were showing.
Yeah.
So if it takes place in like another dimension, or if there are creatures or characters that are not human, that's really, I have a hard time connecting with them. So I don't know if that's why I was more so drawn to indie films from like undergraduate on up, just because how many times in indie films, like super, super indie, do you really get that like another world, another dimension, it's always like here and now. We have the simple sets, the simple, storyline, yet complex character, or you know what I mean? But it's human. And so I had a hard time just kind of connecting with it just for that sense. And again, that's not just saying it about this movie. That's just a lot of other ones too that have come across my viewing plate.
There's going to be a couple bad movies that are going to take place in other dimensions that I'm going to have to force you to watch. Like, fuck, I already forgot. Like that, there's these Bible Man.
I know
show.
that's Willie Ames. That's that's Tommy from Eight Is Enough. He grew up to be Bible Man. Yeah.
Okay, well, yeah, there's some Bible Man stuff. There is.
That's funny though. I've seen some of those. That's funny.
There's some. I think I sent you a clip of a person I was watching. I was reviewing Bible Man stuff.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, and like I've seen some of them because I remember he was on Celebrity Fit Club when I was in college.
Oh shoot.
And, yeah, and he was like shirtless and tattooed, and he was so mad he like started like smacking the door and his everywhere, and it was weird. And so I remember them being like, and this is before YouTube had ever come to be, and I was like, I need to look this up. I need to look up this Bible Man stuff. And it was just, yeah. Living in Southern Illinois at the time, like you're a 40-minute drive or so from like Kentucky kind of type of, that South. There's a lot of religious channels. And so, yeah, Bible Man was pretty easy.
Crazy how Southern people in Southern Illinois are.
I did not realize that. I never ran into so many Dale Earnhardt number 3s in the back of cars and Confederate flags in my life. It was culture shock because I came from Central Illinois, which a lot of people here in the northern region, they'll just say Southern Illinois, and they'll even mean like my hometown. So I'm like, oh no, we will correct central. We are in the center of the state. Like, we will happily correct you on this. And so, yeah,
we will fight we will die on this hill. Like, we're not.
I don't know what that means. Here we go again.
I don't either. Probably just because I'm going to make you watch movies that you're going to hate. I don't know.
Or either that, or I'm just getting super passionate about something, and I'm like, ah!
One of them is going to be the Mortal Kombat movie.
I remember the video games when I was in Pizza Hut when I was like a kid. That was really cool. So I haven't seen the movie though.
And the Street Fighter one doesn't take place in an alternate dimension, but it's still like a video game movie that's really bad. I enjoy it.
Yeah, I remember the Street Fighter video game. Like I said, Pizza Hut.
Pizza Hut.
Yeah,
it was awesome back in the day.
You had to earn that money. You had to sit there and listen to your adult relatives. You had to earn that like 50 to 75 cents so you could go and play that game later.
Oh
You had
yeah,
to be a good kid. You couldn't just go on your phone or wherever. You had to earn it.
yeah,
You had to, you had
yeah,
to be the good kid.
absolutely. I remember
Once.
like just going to like to the arcade or whatever, and you're just like scraping whatever freaking quarters you could find, and then you and your friends would ride your bike to the arcade and spend a couple hours there because you got $2 in quarters.
Yeah. Sorry, I had to blow my nose. The
That's
high drops I'm on now for the rest of my life because of this. It activates my sinuses even more. So I'm total, yeah.
Timon, your weird ass shit. How you like bad movies? I love bad movies. That's like that's our thing.
Yeah.
That's this whole dynamic that we're bringing to you guys right now is our love for um the most critically acclaimed worst movies that are still enjoyable.
Because the thing is, I love good movies, but it's not as much fun to critique them because they're so good. There's so many, good things. There might be a few, oh, this could have been better, or this could have been stronger, or blah, blah, blah. But overall, you're going to enjoy it, and it is going to give you that inspirational, yes, I want to do it feeling, and, I want to write this, and I want to do it. But bad movies are kind of like, the donuts or the Doritos. You just sometimes just need to kind of chill out and just gorge on those for a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
You just need it.
You do. You
You
do.
know? And that's what we're doing. We're kind of celebrating it by kind of gorging and having that junk food. Yeah. Because we do exercise, but we
Yeah,
need
we
that.
do. Oh my goodness. I think I'm getting back
There's
down
a cardio video I'm excited to do. So it's a 10-minute cardio beginner, but like it's a cardio blast. So there's some of the moves from that Tabata, and then some of the moves.
Oh man, you
Other
got
ones too.
send me a link of that one.
And it's yeah. I'm excited for it. Like I'm gonna try it this week.
Send me a link of that one. Again, I was gonna do the Tabata one like for a second time, but like for some reason, Saturdays and Sundays, I'm just worn out and I just sleep too much.
I got so much sleep, I think yesterday. I didn't get any sleep last night into today. Today I've been writing so much more. I've been doing an outline for a TV spec script.
Yeah.
I'm not used to doing that anymore. And it takes so much mental energy out of you. I was just like, I didn't do anything today, really.
I'm glad as Hentai Slayer saw earlier, I'm glad I finally got that little drawing table set up, even though I got butter everywhere. And
Yeah.
I started on the Pac-Man piece. I sent what I got done to the customer who hired me to do it.
Yeah.
Waiting for a message back to see if he likes it or not. But yeah, oh man, that was fun. That was fun. Yeah. It was more fun than Mario Brothers.
Yeah. And me going through all the mental stress of trying to come up with the outline for the spec script. I still need to do Act 3 in the tag, but
you'll get it.
Definitely more fun than the Mario Brothers. Oh God, no! Oh God, no! For what?
Oh yeah,
I feel like that could go in so many directions. What is oh God, no?
You're always so vague, Hentai Slayer. Elaborate. Like we're talking about so much shit in like a short amount of time.
No, about exercising. Oh God, and the fact that we share exercise videos. Oh God, no, about the writing of the spec script, about drawing, about
it's oh God, no about the drawing for sure because he is traumatized from that Pac-Man.
Oh, okay. Makes sense.
I get it now. He is traumatized from the Pac-Man.
Yeah, I don't like your drawing, Timmy.
That's headline worthy, right?
Yeah.
Man, not a lot of people call me Timmy. Just people from grade school usually.
again, even seeing you when you're at work and it says Tim on your name tag, it's just so weird for me because I always just knew you as Wiener.
Yeah.
So that's how I'm just gonna call you that.
Yeah.
Just keep calling you that.
Like, I want people to do that. Like I go and like meet their parents or some shit. They're like, "Hey, this is Wiener," you know. That's what. That's what I want.
Yeah.
It's my goal in life. It's just to just trail off of that. I tried to come up with something clever. It's hard to do when you're on the spot. Yeah. You know what wasn't, or you know what also was more fun than Mario Brothers?
Well, we gotta give it a rating.
Oh yeah, Mario Brothers. I give it a rating of 7.5 on the Richter scale of enjoyability.
I'm gonna give it a 4, just because just because I was unfamiliar with the characters, and then just that whole like other world and not having it full human type of thing. Like, yeah. I felt a little more invested in wanting to root for them when I knew that it was like them as in their regular world as opposed to them being transported.
Yeah.
That's how I felt.
Yeah, like the whole movie was them just fighting the other like rival plumbers. That could have been a whole fucking deal right there. Like,
yeah, it could have been, and that could have been really, believe it or not, interesting.
I'll rate it a boomer out of 10. We're not that fucking old. I'm a millennial.
38. Am I old enough to be your mom? There are times where I will see people's ages and I'm like, oh my God, I could be their mom. Like, it just, yeah.
When I card people for booze and I'm like, really? 1999?
Yeah, I know.
Fuck.
Yeah. See, I was 17, so that definitely is like a possibility. I'm like, dang.
I always forget that you're 5 years older than me.
Yeah.
I was like,
I act like a 12-year-old.
Huh?
It's because I act like a 12-year-old.
Because you act like a 12-year-old. Is that why we get along? Because we're just like adult children?
Probably. Probably.
Oh man. Yeah, so
we got the first.
So how would you feel if it like what are some things that you would want to see in if they did make the Mario Brothers movie that way? Like
I think it actually would be interesting to see like a battle of the plumbers personally. Because you know, there's money at risk. I mean, we already saw their living conditions.
Yeah.
You know,
coming home, there's like an eviction notice on the door or whatever.
Like it could easily be something as simple, and it's maybe a bad idea, but something as simple as, you know, each town, we'll just say they're in more of a smaller town as opposed to like a bigger city like that. But, you know, like the favorite, they're being voted on for the favorite, you know, like how they even have here. Like with the, you know, favorite Mexican restaurant or favorite workout, you know, gym, you know, or something like that.
Yeah.
Picked by the locals. It could even be favorite plumber, you know, and all these plumbing companies are competing for that, which sounds ridiculous. And that is a ridiculous idea. Could it be worse than what we saw? Possibly, but it may not be either.
Yeah.
A lot of, depending on how you want to go, there could be a lot of physical comedy. There could be a lot of even some effects because of like pipes breaking water, you know, things like that. So
yeah,
who knows? I don't know.
It would be neat just like seeing them just being struggling businessmen, business owners, whatever. And then like, you know, there could be a scene where they come home, there's an eviction notice on the door, whatever. And so they got to really start grinding and struggling and getting serious and freaking beating up the whatever the other rival plumbers were, like they gotta step their game up, start looking more professional. Mm-hmm. They get the iconic, like Mario's wearing the red shirt with his overalls, and Luigi's wearing the green shirt with his overalls. You know, they're combing their hair. You know, they're shaving. They're cleaning up their act, and they're fucking. Then they get down to it, and they end up saving their apartment. They end up.
And you know, if we want to go with the, you know, throw in the love story, get the girl thing, they get the girls in the end, because maybe these other rival plumbers have kind of stolen them away. You know, they've kind of taken their, well, they're more successful, you know, kind of, if you want to throw that aspect into.
Yeah, that was a common trope back in like the early 90s and stuff too, where like they had that in the Bill and Ted 2, where like the clones ended up taking the girlfriends and so yeah, that could all that shit could work and make it. You would have.
I saw a Maury show one time where maybe it was Maury or maybe it was another talk show.
Sally, Chessie, Raphael.
Yeah, maybe. Two twins, two male twins. They had tricked the one twin's fiance into believing that it was, you know, her actual fiance, and they just kept taking turns going out with her.
Oh wow.
Yeah, and she never caught on, I guess. So until whatever game, or not game show, but talk show she was on, like, yeah.
There was these twins that worked at the grocery store I work at, and I would always like, one worked in the pizzeria, one was a cashier, and I was like, you guys ever just like swap around, whatever? Because like after I got to know them and whatever, you can always tell them apart. I have twin cousins, and like if I haven't seen them for a while, I have to like, which one's which? But then when I'm hanging out with them for a whole day or whatever, you can easily just tell them apart. So like, I feel bad for that girl.
Yeah, she's not happy. I would broke up with her fiance, I think so.
I would be.
And then she had to break up with his twin because at the same time she was dating him, even though she didn't realize it.
Yeah. So. Yeah. No, that's totes uncool. Like I always thought about doing fun stuff, like, you know, like swapping classes with one another, or you know, like back in like high school, or maybe like swapping jobs for a day, or you know, doing some shit like that. But nothing like scandalous or like.
Yeah.
It's just wrong.
Oh yeah.
Oh man.
What else was wrong, or was it right? The next film that we're going. It was right.
This next film was so good we watched it twice.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, here's what I've got to say. Yeah, that's exactly right, Hentai Slayer. That's exactly right. I don't know if you were commenting on the talk show thing, or if you're commenting on the fact that we watched the movie twice. Both are absolutely. That's the correct response to both. Let's put it that way.
Well, he's hearing stuff at a delay, so it's most likely the talk show. Yeah.
Yeah, but it's still a good response to both of the things that we the talk show clip and watching the movie twice. Perfectly good.
Super Mario Bros. We didn't watch Super Mario Brothers twice. We watched Cool as Ice, starring the one and only Vanilla Ice.
I was blessed to learn about this movie because of my boss. One day after work, we were all kind of talking about reboots and some of the TV and movie nostalgia and kind of what we go to, like what we like. And for me, you know, like Spice World. But for her, she said that she and her friend really liked Cool as Ice. And did not ever hear of that movie. And she said, yeah, it's Vanilla Ice's movie. And I'm like, I didn't even know that. I didn't even know that movie. And she is, I think, a couple of years older than me, but I was 8 and 9, and 10, I think, when I had like first started and was really heavily into the teen magazines like Bop. I think they even had Big Bopper maybe, but Tiger Beat, 16. where I could get my, weekly fix on like New Kids on the Block stuff, that was my band at the time. I remember seeing Vanilla Ice's pinups in there and thinking, why is he in here? No one likes him. I never read any of the articles about him. So if I had, I probably would have heard of the movie.
Yeah.
Because there was a rumor New Kids on the Block were going to have a movie around that time, and it never came to be. So I do remember that, and a couple of other things I told you about too, about like the rumor sections and stuff like that, and how the New Kids on the Block were in there and stuff. And so, yeah, I'm surprised Vanilla Ice had a movie, but he did, and we watched it twice. Which I'm surprised I'm even able to say I watched it once. But
it was good.
Given what it is, it was good. And what I mean by that is, take Spice World for instance. I'm just gonna go off that just because people know that it's a little more recent, and and maybe just in my mind, but Spice Girls were a little better than Vanilla Ice. But anyway, you look at like the teen idol movies that have come to be over the years. They may not have the strongest storylines, but you are promised one thing. You are promised your teen idol that you adore. You are promised new music specifically for this movie. And it's just a good time. It's not going to be a strong story. There's not going to be a lot of strong, huge conflict or big character arcs, but it does deliver what is promised. A fun time with your teen idol, good at music, and you're going to walk away a happy fan. So for that, I do say it was good.
I don't know if this necessarily counts, but Justin Timberlake, I don't think he's done any like teen idol type movies, whatever. But every movie that he's been in has been like, every movie that I've seen him in, anyways, has been actually like really fucking good.
Yeah, he gets into good movies. I mean, I wouldn't put him in Ray's quote, nobody likes him. That's how I still kind of feel. No, but no, yeah, Justin finds himself in really good movies, and he actually does a good job. So, I mean, he's kind of transcended the whole teen idol thing. I mean, he wasn't actually, I don't think, correct me if I'm wrong, but when he was in NSYNC, I do know that my boss said that a couple of the guys from NSYNC were in a movie, but she hadn't seen it because she was an NSYNC fan.
Okay.
I wasn't, so I'm not familiar with that.
I wasn't.
Correct me if I'm wrong, but no, Justin's got some good movies.
I wasn't a fan until like around high school when that shit came out, when I was around like 6th grade.
Okay.
I was like 12.
Yeah, I was older. I was in high school when the whole thing was happening, yeah. Because the Backstreet versus NSYNC on TRL.
Oh,
the man. Spot Forgot the Life was number 3 on TRL. That's how old school I go.
So this movie starts out with like a really awesome, like they're like performing at some like underground like rave venue sort of thing. Like all the lights are dim. All right, Jay Martin is in the house. Is that Jamie Martin?
Is that who it
is? Is that Jamie? Oh,
hi,
shit.
Jamie, that's you.
Oh, shit. Hi. I hope so. Like, the evidence is there. So, like,
yeah, I know. I have to, I don't have my glasses, so I have to, zoom in again with my whole face. But, no, cool performance, cool setting up kind of.
Naomi Campbell's crushing it.
Yes, that was definite plus. I don't know if that was around the time where she wanted a music career, and that would have been a great way for them to be like, you want to sing? Just be in Vanilla Ice's movie. Your career's gotta soar. You could just imagine some executive at either her representation or her some record exec being like, just be in that movie, girl. It's gonna be big, and you're gonna be. You're gonna rock this. Although she did rock it, though. I will say she rocked it.
Jay Martin, I'm loving your picture of the Max for your profile picture. I really love the Max.
Oh yeah, okay.
That's some out there.
My glasses are in the other room, so I'm lazy. I'm not gonna get up and get them. I'll just do this the whole time and just. No, we had a really cool performance with Naomi Campbell, and we got a little glimpse of. See if I'm saying this the right way. Bobby Brown, not the Whitney Houston's ex-husband, but Bobby Brown, the cherry pie girl, playing Monique, playing Bobby Brown. Is that what you had read? Because she goes by Monique when she's filling out the phone number, but yeah. You had
in IMDb. It said Bobby Brown playing Monique, but then it also said she's playing herself, but she only showed up in the very beginning.
Cut out or something.
But like, they needed that one section for when he breaks into Kat's bedroom.
Yeah.
No, he didn't. Yeah, he breaks into Kat's bedroom and he gets his ID and stuff back, and she's like,
"Who's Monique?"
Who's Monique? So we needed that, and then she brings it up again when they're breaking up. She's like, I could just be another Monique. Yeah. So
yeah, but unless if maybe the part where she was herself or Bobby Brown got cut, maybe from there, like from the movie or something, and we just saw the part where she was Monique. I don't know.
Oh yeah, and they're like, well, we still need this part for it to be relevant. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So the concert's over, and they're all just cruising around on their motorcycles, and we're getting some good opening credits.
Flashy motorcycles, by the way.
Huh?
Flashy motorcycles.
Super flashy motorcycles, dude. They're freaking riding wheelies, whatever.
Flashy motorcycles. Yes.
We see a gal just enjoying herself, just riding on a horse. Vanilla Ice's thirst radar goes through the roof, so he has to cause a calamity. Like, he jumps over this fence somehow on his motorcycle.
Because he's Vanilla Ice.
Yeah, he's magic. He probably made a ramp out of his Vanilla Ice. Like,
hair. Out of his hair? That,
there's a lot of times in this movie he did not give a fuck how his hair looked.
That one scene, though, in the montage, he did do a little as the wind his hair kind of. That was weird. That was really uncomfortable. Yeah. But he jumps the fence, jumps the horse. Does not make a happy horse or a happy.
That horse was pissed.
Yeah.
Every
right.
Huh?
Every right to be.
Yeah, it knocks Kat. It does that jumpy thing. It knocks Kat off. Well, that's who we know her as Kat later on, but right now it's just some random girl. And Vanilla Ice is trying to fucking spit game at this girl that he just ruined her day.
Yeah, of course.
And she's not having any of it at all. She's not having any of it. So then they all go about their way. They all leave, whatever, and all of the Vanilla Ice's friends are just clowning him for being an idiot. And then their buddy's bike breaks down. So then they have to go and visit their grandma and grandpa?
No.
Or were they lying to the police?
I think they were saying later in the movie grandparents, just because
were they just lying to the police?
Trying to cover up for the cops, oh yeah, he's my grandson, he's a good kid, and blah blah blah. I think as opposed, I think they were doing that move as opposed to because they would have known. I think they would have known more. Vanilla Ice would have known the skills of his grandparents in repair, I think.
Yeah.
I feel like.
Yeah.
And that's something they did not know going into this.
What did he say he had a major in? I know he did the modern dance.
Chemistry or something, wasn't it? Chemistry, or was it modern dance with the minor in chemistry? I don't know, but chemistry.
It was like a major in chemistry with like a
minor modern dance.
Minor modern dance. But there's some good dancing scenes.
There were.
Like when they get to the mechanic in the town that all this stuff takes place in, and he's just out front, just dancing
in the middle of the driveway.
while his friends are just like playing with like giant salt and pepper shakers and making disgusting sandwiches and like chilling out, just watching TV or whatever. He's just out there dancing.
Yeah, he's got that big puffy like coat on. Just
his clothes are. Every outfit he wears is so fucking loud.
Yes. Do you remember the name of the costume? I can't. Was it something Beats or something, or was it something like it was something? Or they had like a nickname. Remember, because we realized how entertaining the credits were the second time around because we didn't.
Oh shoot! Yeah.
Remember, there were so many things where like people had names, and we're like, what? Like nicknames.
Yeah.
They had to put the nicknames in there.
Oh man, I don't remember.
But the
end credits are like you were just about to say, like we're almost like they're just as entertaining as the movie.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I will admit this, I did not realize the Sly and the Family Stone song, I want to thank you for letting me be myself again, was actually spelled the way that it is spelled. If you don't know it, you can look it up. But I thought that it was just one of those, like maybe Vanilla Ice was trying to work his way around so he didn't get in trouble because he did with Queen kind of thing. But come to find out, that's actually how spelled. And
I gotta show everyone just the spelling for that, just because how ridiculous it is. Oh my gosh. I've got to spell it the real way just because I don't know how to spell it.
Yeah, because then it'll come up Sly and the Family Stone, so then you'll.
But I won't play it. Oh, it's on mute anyways.
Yeah.
So letting me be myself.
Again. Yeah.
For letting me.
And I seriously thought it was like I just said, Vanilla Ice trying to work his way around not getting in trouble for using, because he does use this song just like he did for Ice Ice Baby, and then play that funky music, I think it was, by Wild Cherry. He had done a cover of that, or not a cover, but taken some samples from that.
Yeah. And
then he took samples from that, and I'm like, he probably did just so he didn't get his ass sued again.
But then it was
way. Yeah. So I got owned that way by learning about something that I thought I should have known. So
you are the music guru.
Yeah.
I know that's a fact. You'll like put me onto some really cool yet obscure shit that nobody knows about, and I'm like, hell yeah, dude, I'm with it.
Yeah, I like finding that stuff though too. So
now we're cruising around with Kat and her boyfriend, Nick the dick.
Yes.
The sample from Under Pressure is totally different.
Yeah.
It has that one extra ding, 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 ding. Yeah. I remember that interview, dude. I lost my mind.
That was so funny.
Like, there's this ding, 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 ding. Mine is ding, 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 ding. Like, shut the fuck up. Yeah. It's the same. It's not the same. So
So yeah, go on.
Cat's cruising around with Nick. Nick's like a total asshole. He's all like, "You're trying to break up and we could go to different colleges and blah blah blah. And I got a convertible and I'm the shit." And
Yeah.
like,
Yeah, he has one of the convertibles. So let's just put it this way. He's one of those dicks who has the convertibles where the lights just like automatically go down. And then
they have the robot eyes.
Like, it's just, yeah, you just know that. So that's how much money he's got going around, and that's how big of a douche he is. Yeah.
He's the type of dude that has like wears a sweater and like ties it around
And back in my elementary school when I was in the 5th grade, there was this one kid who I think he was there maybe 2 years. But I mean, if I were to tell you his name, I can only remember his first name, but like his last name, if I were to remember it and tell you, you would be like, that sounds like a super rich person's name.
Yeah.
And the first time I ever actually saw someone do that, other than like a TV show or a movie, we were changing classrooms, and he came out, and it was like a casual day, and he had a polo, and he had his sweater tied around there, and I'm like, he's so rich, because a lot of the people in my school were, and yeah, he would wear that. If there was a scene where a sweater could have been involved, it would have been.
He should have in every scene, honestly. Like,
he had the Letterman jacket.
Yeah.
She was wearing his jacket at one point.
Yeah. Yeah.
Maybe they just figured that was good enough. I don't know. All they could afford with all of Ice's clothes. Maybe that's all they could afford, was just to have a Letterman jacket as opposed to the Letterman jacket and a sweater. I don't know.
The sweater, they had all the budget, all the costume budget was for Vanilla Ice.
Yeah. Well, his sunglasses were Jean-Paul Gaultier, so yes.
Yeah, it took us a second viewing to find out what the glasses said.
Yeah, it was right on the side.
I'm still not familiar with that designer. You obviously were, because when I looked it up, I was like, "Oh, it's Jean-Claude," and like you finished saying it before I, you're like, "Oh, Gaultier," or whatever.
Yeah,
you might have said like Glitter Man or something on. I don't know.
Yeah, that's what we were thinking. It was like,
yeah. he spends too much time at strip clubs. I don't know. There's glitter everywhere.
Yeah.
That's one of the things I hate about being a stagehand. When you're cleaning up a show and they're like shooting confetti and glitter and stuff everywhere, you come home and you're covered in glitter. And then like a lot of my friends who were like either like coworkers who either like married or came home to like girlfriends or whatever, they're getting accused of going out after work, and I'm like, no, it's just that it was a K-pop day.
Yeah, thankfully, some of the bands I know now, at least, they don't do stuff like that. So
yeah. Arenas, man, they're crazy.
Yeah, see, I go to those smaller venues.
I worked a One Direction show at Miller Park, and these women that are these One Direction fans they're crazy. I found so many undergarments on the stage.
Throwing the underwear or the bra on stage.
The bra on the underwear, yeah. Like I was like, what is this ridiculousness? They're like, you got to go home naked now. I don't, or not naked, but without your
yeah, because 9 times out of 10, they're not going to get backstage. They're not going to get those guys. So, you know what I mean? Like,
there's one day at a Prince concert, the security is trying to get these gals to leave, and they're like, "No, Prince told us to wait here, and he's gonna meet up with us." When in real life, Prince he hires a double. He hires a double that goes out and like goes to the limo or whatever. When he'll hide in a road case and get loaded up in a truck, and then when they're down the road he'll get out, and then they'll switch up. So, because he doesn't want to deal with any of that shit, or he didn't want to deal with any of that shit.
Wow, did not know that.
Yeah, I found out a bunch of fun facts about. I find out stuff from like the roadies.
Yeah.
Yeah. But back to Vanilla Ice sees Cat like roll up at her house, and he instantly goes from thirst mode to stalker mode.
I was laughing at the comment. I'm sorry.
Timon definitely sniffed it. The undergarments? No.
That's why I'm having cracking up.
God damn it, little boy. So Vanilla Ice goes from like just the
from dancing in the driveway alone.
He walks to her house, and he's like instantly just trying to like intrude on her and Nick's conversation. You know, like he's like, "You're breaking up with me," blah blah blah. She's like, "Well, maybe I should. I don't fucking know." And then he's like, "All right, dude, she's already in a fucking." You could just see his gears turning. Like, "All right, she's already in a rocky relationship. I could snatch this shit up easily," and he does. But like, but he's all like, "Hey, you know, like, what's going on? How's the horse doing?" And he's like, Nick's like, "You know this motherfucker?" She's like, "No, I don't. Like, I don't know this guy at all." And she's not lying. Like,
yeah,
she's not lying. Vanilla Ice is all like, "Ditch the zero and get with the hero." Yeah.
And that's, I think was that the first scene, or because I don't know if we noticed it beforehand, but that he had lightning bolts on one side and bricks on the other.
I think we thought it was bricks on both sides or just whatever, because he had the bricks, or
he had the bricks.
When I'm looking at it through the camera, everything's in reverse.
Yeah, on the left side he had the bricks.
Yes, that is a Toxic Avenger poster, and it's signed by Lloyd Kaufman.
Ooh, nice.
Yeah, I got that at Comic-Con this year.
Cool.
And he was there, and I was like, "Fuck, hell yeah, dude!" I bought the poster. One of the best, worst pickup lines ever.
What about the zero?
Like ditching the zero and getting
the
zero. But she liked it. She smiles a little bit, and then when she sees Nick looking at her, she kind of just like turns it off real quick, you know?
Yeah. Well, and what was great was he didn't know her name beforehand, but he's like, Nick was like, "Kathy, you know him?" And he doesn't even say, and I don't know if he did this on purpose or if he only read so far, like his lines, but he just called her Cat, and he just kept repeating it. He's like, "Cat,
cat,
cat, cat."
Because even when he goes to her house,
he never said Kath or Kathy. He was just like, "Cat,
cat." He like stopped reading like halfway through her name.
I don't know too much work for him, or Kathy being 2 syllables, but Cat was all that came out.
I don't even think he read the script at all.
Like, no, there were some scenes where you're even like, he just totally didn't even read that scene.
He didn't. Then, like, I think the director was just like, "All right, here's what you're supposed to say in this scene," and he'd be like, "All right, dude, I got this, dude, no problem."
Cat.
Because then, like, the second time he goes to her house after like seeing her on the news, like after like for some,
and he becomes so lovesick when he sees her on the news too. You could just tell that, like, look, there's like a little
friends are all like, yo, that's your fucking girlfriend. And he's all like, "Oh hell yeah,"
because he got her book. He got the black book.
Oh yeah, he stole her fucking book. He stole her black book. And if anybody who grew up in the 90s, 80s, even early 2000s, people had the black book that it was like their organizer. They had their phone numbers in. It had a calendar in there. She had all her college information in there.
Yeah.
And like instantly when he pulled it out in front of his friends, we're like, both you and I were like, "What the fuck?" Like,
he wasn't even that close to her to get it.
Yeah.
Like, how?
Yeah, there's no way for him to actually get it out of her purse, for one, and then for two, like, what the fuck? Why is he stealing her shit?
Yeah.
Like, you already know where she lives. Like, you can just...
You know her name, or at
You
least
know her name, you know where she lives. It's like right down the block. Even though for some reason, like when he walks over to her house, it takes like, you know, like 5-7 minutes. But when she runs her fastest to get to his place, it takes like 12 hours.
Yeah. It goes like when she leaves the house from daytime sunlight to when she gets to where he's at, it's pitch black outside. Like, don't understand.
Yeah.
A black leaflet. Oh, I'm sorry, Jamie.
I had a black leaflet.
I was so unpopular in high school. I didn't have any leaflets even.
I had a folded up piece of paper that I kept in my wallet that had everyone's phone number in it.
I didn't even have that.
Oh shit!
So yeah.
If you went to public school, you would have been more popular for sure.
I don't know. But, yeah. I found out about parties after they happened, like on Monday morning. That's how popular I was.
God damn.
Yeah. So, but anyway, so was there a specific, am I looking too much into this? Was there a specific reason why she was actually on TV?
I was getting to that point, and then we got sidetracked. Like, I don't remember why.
I know in like my hometown, I don't know if they do it here, but like in my hometown, a couple of weeks leading up to graduation, they will focus on like, they'll see the top 10 students from each graduating high school. And they might do like a little story on one of them, and they're going off.
I think it was something like that, where like she was
like that.
Like it was like her academics or whatever was like superior to the rest of the people in town, and
then we got introduced to her dad in two ways, and that because you saw her parents and her
little brother
who had
Nick, the dick. You won't let me ride in your convertible, you dick.
Yeah, he had some great lines throughout the movie.
The little brother is one of the best characters.
Yeah, and so he so we saw the dad, who was actually the dad on Family Ties. I didn't realize that until I saw the credits. I think I had my glasses on probably for the second time we were viewing it, and because I had the eye drops at the time, so so I was still wearing them, and I saw Michael Gross, and I'm like, I think that's the dad from Family Ties, and so we see him at the house, and they're all watching her on TV. But he's trying to like conceal something, because on TV, he was on TV with Kat. But he's trying to like hide his face by doing this. And it's like the worst, because he's only got 2 fingers, and he's doing this as he's and like you can still see, like you can clearly still see this half of my face, like you know who I am. And didn't do a good job. Weiner, why was he trying to conceal his identity on TV?
Because he's under
to begin with.
Because we don't find out for a while, but we know that he's on witness protection, but we don't find out till like the 3rd act.
Yeah.
Why he's on a witness protection. Like, because then instantly there's some dude that's sitting at a bar is all like, oh shit, dude, we found him. Like, he's on the news or whatever. I know where he's at. Should we just reveal that like he was just like a cop, and he just like narked on some shady deal that his cop buddies were doing, so they all wanted to kill him, and that's why he's on witness protection? But we don't find that out till like way later in the movie. Yeah. For some reason it's dark out, but it looks like it's morning when you look through the windows.
The lighting was weird in that movie.
The lighting was really weird.
And time was off too.
Time was off.
I'm talking about the pacing. I'm talking about the actual physical, like, let me look at my watch. It is this time. It's AM or PM. And this, like, because of seeing the daughter on the news, these two kind of goons go after him, saying in 24 hours you need to give us, what was it, $500,000.
$500,000.
Now 24 hours actually turned out to be what, 3 days we had counted the second time.
Well, don't
It
check
was
this.
like
That's
3
day
full
that's
days,
day one when they come to the house, and
and
then
then
day two is the date at the construction site, and then day three is when they actually show up for then kidnap the brother.
when she's like, no, I can't be with you, I can't be seen with you, blah blah
Yeah.
blah, and he's feeling rejected, and then later that day, then the little brother, and then they do the 24 hours
Again,
like,
that was a legit 24 hours.
That was like 24 hours came and went, and they didn't do anything. They waited 72 hours. Like,
yeah. So yeah, you got 24 hours. Give us $500,000. By the way, your daughter looks good on TV. Like, they're being really creepy. The one dude has like a scarf like built into his shirt.
Yeah, it's a weird shirt, but that was that period. I keep explaining to people, like, early 90s were weird, especially like the 90, 91, a little bit of 92, because
the 80s to transitioning into the 90s
while trying to assimilate to a new decade, and we all have weird fashions that we cannot explain. That's that guy's. That is totally that guy's.
Yeah. And so these guys are just like, they're doing really good at playing like the slime ball type. And there's just a bunch of times they're together where I don't think they even had a script, where they're just like this sitting there just bickering at each other the whole time.
Yeah.
The director's just like, have fun.
Yeah. Because their parts weren't huge, even though they were somewhat vital to, the conflict and this ticking time clock, but yet the time clock was way off.
Yeah.
And but
that part when they're tormenting the kid, when they kidnapped him and he's all tied up in the corner of the construction site, like that, there's no way there was a script for that.
No, because none of it made sense. Remember, they're like, see, it's the guy with the stuff on his head or something, and we're both like, how can he even see that far? Like, how do they know it's him?
Because, well, they got the binoculars, but even how the lighting was, we couldn't even see the bricks on his head.
Yeah.
And we had a close up to his face. So, he's like, look at those fucking bricks on his head or whatever.
Yeah, and it's like, you can't see it. Like, all right, so she's out, or
they're all out at the bar watching some shitty band play.
I actually would hire that band for any event, just because they were so funny.
Yeah.
Even though they were horrible.
Yeah.
They were entertaining.
They were really entertaining.
They were.
The Sugar Shack.
Yes, at the Sugar Shack. And Vanilla Ice by then had already gone and seen if Kat was home. And the little brother was like, she's at Sugar Shack. And so the
little brother is fascinated by Vanilla Ice. He thinks he's like the bee's knees.
Yeah.
Like,
compared to Nick, I mean.
Yeah. He's like, you're trying to see my sister? What? She's cool? I didn't know that. Wow. You're like, that's not what he says, but you can see it in his face.
Yeah, because he's like, Sugar Shack, I'll show you where it is if you need it. Like, he's really hang out with him, even like. So the dad looks out the window and sees Vanilla Ice talking to the goons. And so he's putting together that like all three of these guys are in together. When in fact, Vanilla Ice is just like,
we're just directions. Yeah.
Yeah. And they're giving them like the wrong directions. They both don't even like know where.
I don't think they know, because they're not from town.
And so the band's playing. Nick
is drinking.
Yeah, Nick is drinking, and her friends are there.
Her friends are assholes, by the way.
Yes,
all her friends are fucking assholes.
Yes. And she just off in the distance spots Vanilla Ice looking all cool, like in the glasses. And just little flashes of him, and then he just disappears.
Yeah.
And then he's on stage.
What's crazy is they unplug all the equipment, and then somehow there's a DJ booth.
Yes, that's
like just magically there. Like Vanilla Ice didn't even go there with his friends. He went there by himself. And like for some reason, dude, there's a DJ there and someone who knows all of the dance moves for the fucking song that he's about to perform.
Yeah. Huh?
I said like there's a DJ there and there's somebody there that knows all the dance moves for the song he was about to perform.
Yeah. So he performed the Sly and the Family Stone sample.
Yeah.
I want to thank you for letting me be myself again.
Let me be myself
again. Yeah. I think Jamie missed that part of it. So.
And he pretty much forces Kat to dance with him.
And Kat's kind of like me, just no moves whatsoever.
Dude, but first she like pulls away or whatever, and then he's all like, "No, you're dancing with me," and then she's dancing.
And Nick is getting rather jealous.
Nick is getting mad. Even her friends are like, and he's got his arms around like her friends and shit, dude. Like,
yeah.
Because even in the first argument, he's all like, "Oh, if we break up, I know a lot of girls would be pleased by that." You know, like I was like, dude, what the? Just no, seriously, ditch this guy, but don't replace him with Vanilla Ice. Like he was a douche
in the movie. I mean, this was really a battle of the douches.
It really was.
Who was the better?
Vanilla Ice is definitely the better douche, but like it was just a different type of toxic, you know? Like
yeah.
But then he also got really deep when they were like, he's like, it's not about where you're from, it's about where you are, you know? Like, and this is where we are right now.
Yeah, that's one of the best scenes. So we will work our way there, but he has to first take care of a couple things. So when Kat goes outside because she's yanked out of the sugar shack by Nick, and he's trying to apologize, being all drunk dick like, and she's like, "No, I'm walking home," and he's like, I'm talking to you. And she walks, and she's being followed by a car, and out of nowhere comes Vanilla Ice on his motorcycle, and he's just like, hop on, and they get out of there, and he saves her. So he had to take care of that, and he drops her off, and I can't remember, was that when she was starting to kind of look at his ID, which she stole from him?
She stole his ID, yeah, because when she
she wants the book back. She already told him she wants the organizer back at the
So shouldn't she somehow steal his ID, whatever? Which this part actually makes sense because she was like within pocket's length to be able to steal his ID and the Monique out of his pocket, Monique's number. And that's when she goes inside. Her dad's all like, "You need to not hang out with that guy." And she's like, "Fuck you, Dad. I'll do what I want. You know, you don't understand what happened. Like I almost got kidnapped, like, or possibly. She doesn't know yet."
Well, and he's like, "You don't need to explain. Just go to your room." And they're like all like frantic, and like mom's crying and everything. And she's like staring then at the ID and just like. But then Ice returns.
This is one of the creepiest scenes in the fucking movie right here when Vanilla Ice comes.
No, he got to know first. He goes back to Sugar Shack, and that's when he beats up Nick, because Nick is beating up his friend's motorcycle.
No, it's not at the Sugar Shack. I thought it was in the yard, but it wasn't at the Sugar Shack.
No, because he's somewhere. I don't know where he is.
I thought it was I thought it was at the yard, because I thought he went back home, and they're already at where he's staying, or not home, but at the shop.
I don't know. But he went somewhere. Let's put it that way. He went somewhere, and then he had to beat up Nick.
Because Nick is being what's his name? D1 motor.
Someone's motorcycle. His homie.
He's all like, we're tearing apart your motorcycle, when it's obviously not his, because he just rolled up on his motorcycle. And he beats up all these dudes with zero skill
and
or
zero
finesse.
touching.
Like
That was the one thing I noticed about that fight scene was like he would be like, and like just no touch, but like the guy would just
he beats up Nick and like 5 of his friends with his Ninja Turtle skills.
Yeah. And then the creepy scene happens, which yes.
So this is the next morning. We're like, you just see Kat sleeping, and all of a sudden you just see like a hand like going to her face with an ice cube. And he's just like shoving it in her fucking mouth.
Yes. And she obviously wakes up because I think we all would.
What would be your reaction if that happened to you?
Well, I don't think it would be that pretty of an experience because I have a retainer. So if I just started talking, I think all of that ice and any kind of saliva that would have been left, from sleeping, if I hadn't drooled it out, would have just been like spitting on that person, be like, "What's going on?" And it just, it wouldn't be pretty.
See, like for me, like I don't picture it.
Have a kick reflex because I sadly have been known to do that. Like if I have a night terror or something, to just physically swing around, and I've like almost punched the wall and stuff. So that could easily happen too if you're gonna put ice in my mouth and I'm sleeping. It could easily be a really good kick or a punch.
I've gotten hit so many times from like when my ex-fiance would be sleeping, and it would just be like some sort of reflex from something she's either dreaming about or just whatever. And I'd wake up like, what the fuck? But then she'd just be like,
Oh no, it woke me up. Like when I did that swing, I was like, what just happened? Yeah.
Like, so if that happened to me, I can't picture it like a woman like breaking into my bedroom and doing that with an ice cube. So I always picture it as like a gay dude, since like gay dudes love me anyways. And like, so like I'd be ready just to start throwing hands. I'm like, come on now. Not that you're gay, but that you broke into my house and you're sticking ice in my mouth.
Here's what I think is interesting. They have this big home. Kat's room is on the main floor, but yet the younger son's room is
upstairs.
Upper level. Yeah, like, don't you think the kids would be upstairs? But for some reason, Kat has a window that is easily accessible to Vanilla Ice at all times of day or night.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So like,
this was the first time of it.
So he like breaks into her room. I don't even know how he knew where her room was.
Yeah,
That he breaks in there, and like she does not give a fuck.
No, she really
she doesn't think it's weird like at all. She kind of like does something, but then they're like chasing each other around, being all playful.
He's laying in her bed. Then he's just laying there with his arms back.
He just starts laying in there. She's and then she learns his name is Johnny, even though we barely ever go, but like we barely ever hear his name, like maybe like once or twice in the movie.
Yeah,
we hear Kat's name all sorts because he just does that through like Kat. Kat. So then she's all like, "Who's Monique?" And he's all like, he doesn't even know. He doesn't remember that he met some girl named Monique after this concert or whatever. Like I don't think he remembered
a day and a half ago, 2 days ago. Like no, this would have whatever.
Well, yeah, it wasn't long ago, maybe like 3 days ago max. But like I think he like physically, like the Vanilla Ice, not the character in the movie, like he seriously didn't remember that scene being filmed.
Probably.
Because he's not like. He's seriously confused about. I was like, I don't know who Monique is like, and it wasn't like the typical like lie, like a dude's lying about like whatever. Like he seriously has no idea.
Yeah.
But then she he brought her book back, right?
Yes, and that's when she gave him back the ID.
She gets the ID back, but at first they're like kind of like playing, like chasing each other around, and then she's like handing him his ID, and she pulls back, and then gives it, and then pulls back again. They're being really flirty.
And then the younger brother comes
Most
in.
like in the situation where you like want to call the cops, like there's breaking and entering. And, yeah.
The little brother then comes in. He refuses to leave because he thinks it's really cool that guy shows up and he's now in his sister's bedroom and asks them if they're going to make sex.
They're going to make sex. And he also asked Vanilla Ice if he could ride on his motorcycle sometime.
Yeah, and he's like, yeah.
Yeah, dude,
okay, no, but sometime or something like that.
Yeah,
cool,
like, for sure. Yeah, I got you.
Yeah, like yeah.
So it's like, so little brother's cool. She's like, get the fuck out of here, and he leaves eventually, and he's all like, well, if you want to hang out later, just meet me outside. And he just like crawls back out the window. And here she comes out wearing like a little like cute like oversized jean jacket, like.
But it was so 90s because when we were watching it the first time, I said she has bicycle shorts on under her outfit. I'm like, that's what
she had a cute little dress.
Because it was like a cute, like real short dress. But back in the day, like even as little girls, the style was you had that short dress, but underneath it you had bicycle shorts. And if you were a little girl like I was, there was lace on the bottom of the bicycle shorts. So it kind of added a little something to it. Because then I got this flashback of like, oh, she's wearing bicycle shorts under.
See, because what it looked like to me, I looked like she was kind of wearing like a romper, but then like later when you brought up the bicycle shorts, I was like, oh yeah, that's okay.
Yeah. That was the girly fashion then. Yes.
So then we have like the best montage ever of like
Teen Idol.
Like they're going to hang out at this construction site, but then they're also like Vanilla Ice is learning how to ride a horse. He's teaching her how to drive his motorcycle. They're chasing the cameraman around.
They're never together chasing each other. They're
never chasing each other around. They do the same thing again when the kid is getting kidnapped. And like they're just like the kid is like just chasing the camera, and then it shows like the dude chasing the camera, like trying to like grab the kid.
But yeah, it was, that I was thinking about that though, and I think that might be the ideal way of having a relationship. It's just there's no other person, it's just you and that camera. You don't have to deal with the other human. Just be free and just be happy. And there's just a camera, and that camera's never going to talk back to you or say anything bad. Maybe it'll put 10 pounds onto you because cameras do that. It's not going to wreck your life. That might be the ideal way for a relationship.
There's this thing that people do, like guys and girls both do this, where they'll hire a girlfriend or boyfriend or whatever, and just to pose with them on like for their Instagram and shit.
Oh wow.
Yeah. And or they'll just have them take pictures from their phone or whatever to like, hey, dude, like I want to picture on this mountain or whatever, and then they'll tag them. And like, I don't know, it's weird. So like, but this is 90s when there was none of that. These people were just chasing around the cameraman, having a blast. It was like, it seemed so fun. Like chase that cameraman around on the construction site.
In this house that was like barely built, and Vanilla Ice almost got stuck in between those two that one time. Remember that? He was like squeezed between a couple of like walls. Yeah. And then we thought he was wearing a fanny pack. Remember that? Because he had the striped shorts on.
Yeah.
And then
but it was just his overalls that were undone.
Yeah. Like 90s clothes.
Fanny packs were like in back then too, so it wouldn't
they were.
Yeah.
If you sold enough magazines at my school one year, one of your prizes was a fanny pack. It was a Levi's red fanny pack.
Oh shit, dude, that's classy right there.
Yeah, they were. So that's why I thought it was, but no, it was just the overalls that were just like hanging down.
Yeah.
And
that's when I brought up that like Joe Rogan, used to sell fanny packs, but he would call them survival packs, just because it's got to be more manly.
Even that, they're not manly.
They're coming back, or they were. I don't know if they still are, but they were for a while.
They should not be.
They should. I can see the convenience of them, like when I'm doing like stage work or whatever, and we need to like stuff or whatever. But like this, if you're going out like hiking, whatever, and you just pull out, if someone just pulls out some trail mix or whatever out of the fanny pack, I'm not eating it. Vanilla Ice wasn't wearing a fanny pack, unfortunately.
No, he was not.
But like this is the moment when they're like connecting. Like like
that's when
he's like, what's it like to have a family? Like, what's it like to have a mom and a dad? You know, like that's weird. I don't
remember that one friend of his, and they were watching her on the news, and he had the best line. It was so funny. I cracked up both times. When she's like, people think when you're a teen you hate your parents, but I don't. And that one friend of his was like, if your parents don't hate your ass. Remember that? That was so funny because he's like, if your parents don't hate your ass. I was like, that's so awesome. Both times cracked me up. But no, yes, they're connecting. Sorry.
No, don't be sorry. If you got to not really interrupt, but interject with something hilarious, by all means. Yeah, they're bonding, whatever. He's like, that's when he has that cool freaking. It's not about where you're from. It's about where you are. You know, like he's being really cheesy and like trying to be deep.
Going through his hair.
Yeah. And then like he drops her off, and it's been 24 hours, and there's still no $500,000.
Yeah.
There's no $500,000 the next day either.
No.
They kidnapped the brother.
But this is when
it's like during the day too. Like it's like middle of the fight. Yeah.
But this is when like she gets home, he tells Vanilla Ice to leave, the dad. And then he has to talk with her, and we find out about the witness protection program. And then she kept saying, you don't know him. And he's like, what, you do? And of course, that's where I came in with my comments of, that's because she read Tiger Beat. All about it because Tiger Beat. And I just had comments like that, just left and right in that scene, because the dad's like, I don't know him. And it's like, clearly, because you didn't read it,
like you're not reading your daughter's subscriptions, man. Like, come on.
Because I'm like, because she knows him, because not only did she read what are Vanilla Ice's top 10 favorite things, she won the contest where she got to hang out with him on a construction site for a whole day. Because in those teen magazines, there were times where if like, we'll just say New Kids on the Block would have a contest that you could enter through 16 magazine, and it would say like, hang out with them as they're filming a commercial for, Pepsi or whatever. And you get to spend the day, get the autograph, get whatever. And I feel like that would have been it. Hang out on an abandoned construction site for an entire day. Learn how to ride a motorcycle. You'll be able to teach him how to ride a horse. Have a good day, right? Like I feel like that's kind of what that could have been.
They used to have contests like that on like Nickelodeon and like MTV and stuff too, where you could like meet whoever, such and such. I never read any of the Teen Idol magazines because they were ones centered for like young boys and stuff too. I never read any of them.
No, really? They had those?
I think so. Like we had I was reading stuff like Spinner and like Rolling Stones.
Okay, yeah.
Like we were reading that stuff because like we were like super into like whatever music was out and stuff. So like we were reading that stuff, but I was like I think more of the teen pop stuff was centered more for the girls. But
it was, because it was very important to us to know what flavor of ice cream they like. It was very important because if we ever had a chance to, win a date with them. Win a sure we could go to the ice cream parlor, and they could get that.
Yeah.
I come to find out they were probably like lactose intolerant, but they just had to give an answer or something, you know.
Do you still have the imprint on your leg from when you fell asleep outside earlier?
No.
Oh man, what are you gonna tell your hairdresser now?
I got the picture. It's fine.
I got the.
And I'll just even ask her because I think she's only like a year, maybe younger than me. Like, do you ever see Cool as Ice? And she says, yeah. I'm just gonna be like, well, you know what I'm talking about. You know what I'm talking about. But no, so they have this like back and forth of dad and Kat, and he doesn't want her to see him yet.
Yeah.
And so she kind of goes back and forth. And the next day, Vanilla Ice shows up at her home, not in her room, but just outside, and she avoids him like the plague.
He's like trying hard, and like he's like, "Come on, like what? You're just listening to your fucking dad." And she's like, "Well, maybe there's a reason I am." Like, you know, she's like, "I gotta give it to Kat, dude. Like, she is pretty good at standing her ground."
Yeah, and I like that about her. I like that because she just didn't fall for whoever or fall for. I mean, she was holding back, and then she had a little more of a character growth than
when she met Nick back before we even get to know these characters. Like he was probably a decent dude or whatever, or like they had some fun times and like all that good stuff. And then just like she just started to realize like he's kind of a dick. I don't know. Like we don't know what happened in the before the movie took place, but like
no.
Anytime I'm like meeting some new girl and they're going on about how horrible their ex was, I'm like, well, you had to have been with them for a reason. Like there had to have been some good times and like all that dumb shit. Like I know all of it wasn't bad. They're like, well, yeah, but I don't want to talk about that. I want to talk about the shitty stuff.
Well, yeah, and that's kind of like why we're doing these movies. Why talk about the good ones? Because that's not as entertaining as talking about the bad ones.
It's not.
You know,
I remember like me and two of my buddies, we went and saw Motherless Brooklyn. I think it was the end of last year, early this year, before everything shut down. We saw Motherless Brooklyn. That movie was phenomenal, and it was just hard to like break it down because it was way too fucking good.
Yeah.
It was like what? But yeah, these fun like we've been talking about Vanilla Ice for like an hour, and we're still like we're like halfway through the movie. We're like in the third act. I think right now because then like
we're still in the second act because the third act. Well, this is getting close to probably the end of the second act, beginning of third, because she's made a decision and everything's hit rock bottom for Vanilla Ice because you know he's lost the girl and his friends are like, "You're a loser, man." So kind of like, and then he has that really sullen scene on the couch. He's alone on the couch.
This is like there's like a little montage of like him being heartbroken
on a couch.
On a couch.
Some random couch.
And all this little like stills, or not really stills, but just this like the clips they show of him on the couch just looks like him posing for a teen magazine.
Yeah. And then I can't think of the kid's name, but the little kid, the little brother, shows up. He has his hair done up, trying to kind of, I guess, mimic Vanilla Ice, if not, just trying to find his own style, his own cool hairstyle. Yeah. He does it himself, and he's got a helmet, and he is ready to take a ride on that bike. And Vanilla is like, no, just not now. Maybe some other time, kind of busy. And so he's like, oh man, you promised. And then he's like, oh, okay. And the kid and he flips off Nick, which is great. Nick shows up then driving his car with like a broken nose, and the little
because Vanilla Ice put him in the hospital.
Yeah. And then Kat is in the car with her friends, and they're going on about like, you should see Nick. Oh no, because blah blah blah. He wouldn't even want to see you. And she's like,
she's just like
she's just like crying because she's just like, I made a mistake probably, but I can't. Like
friends are dicks, dude. Like Nick probably won't even want to talk to you right now because like her friend. Oh my god, why does she hang out with them?
Well, they're all rich, and I think that's part of it. When I was in school, all the rich kids hung out together. They didn't mix with those who maybe didn't have as much money. So I think that's a lot of it too.
Man, I brought this up to my buddy Wyatt the other day. Like, he's that one dude I film stuff with, or he films it and directs it. But I was all like, man, rich people have this luxury of not having to give a fuck about anything. It's got to be kind of nice sometimes, but I wouldn't be able to do it. Like,
yeah,
nah, they don't have to worry about people. They don't have to be like worry about showing up to work on time. Like, I was like, what? That's got to be fucking crazy. I got to show up to work early, like just to make sure I'm there.
Yeah.
If I feel like I'm gonna be late, I might as well just like I'm not gonna show up.
No, I definitely have to show up. So
I have to.
Yeah.
Especially if the boss is gonna give me a raise every week. I'm all like, yeah, I'm all for it.
Yeah.
Like,
yeah, just keep showing up. But yeah, so he drops the kid off at the house, and the little kid admits that he was supposed to be at Little League, and Kat was going to pick him up. And then he goes in and plays video games.
Yeah.
And then Vanilla Ice sneaks back into her room and drops off a ring that she had given him into the fishbowl.
Yeah. Somehow she finds it.
Yeah. But then the kidnapping happens.
Yeah, so people, the two hoodlums, thugs, bandits, whatever, or ex-police officers, because they were part of the scheme that the dad narked on, and yeah, they come in, they kidnap the little brother, they do the little chase thing with the camera, and it's all cute.
Drag the little kid across the room.
He is pulling some freaking Kevin McCormick type like maneuvers of trying to get away from these guys though. Like he didn't set any traps or whatever, but he's weaselly, like not weaselly, but he's squirmy. That like he's grip like a couple times. But then the fat guy who's just like sitting on the stairs, he's just like waiting for the kid to run past. So you just like so they get, as soon as they leave, Kat walks to the door.
Turns off the TV with the video game.
It's instant. Like as soon as they leave, Kat walks to the door. Like she couldn't hear screaming through the door with like before she opened. Like none of that. She turns off the TV that still has Tecmo Bull paused on it. This kid was rocking the Super Nintendo, and I appreciate it for it. She's just sulking in her own like whatever. She's like, I was supposed to pick up the kid, but he wasn't there. She goes in her room. She's sulking more. She finds the ring.
And parents come home.
Parents come home. They're like, "Where's the kid?" She's like, I thought he was with you. They're like, "We told you to pick him up at Little League." She's all like, "Yeah, he wasn't there, so I thought he was with you." Like, come on, like, why do I have to repeat myself?
Then Vanilla Ice shows back up.
Finds an envelope on the porch.
Picks it up. And then the dad won't let him see Kat.
He's like, "Let me talk to Kat." He's like, "She's not home." He's like, "She's right behind you."
And then he's like, "This is for you," or something like that.
Yeah, he gives it to him in
I
a way.
don't even know what it is.
He's like, he gives it to him he has no idea what it is, but he's just like, "This is for you," and he hands it to him like he's a mafioso, you know, like. So then there was a little tape, and they put it in the cassette player, and it's the kid like, "You have 24 hours to come get me, and if you don't, I'm gonna hang out with these guys instead all day."
Yeah.
But this is like a real 24 hours. It's actually less than 24 hours because like
they were running out of time in the movie.
This is during the day. This is during the day.
Yes.
and so like Vanilla Ice is back. He's back home. He's still sulking or whatever, and his friends
And they're about to leave.
Huh?
I think they're about to leave, aren't they?
I think they're getting ready to leave. I think the bike is finally fixed.
Yeah.
Because like
they did a horrible job with the bike, destroyed it, but then finally got it together.
He's like, you can't fix something unless you know how to take it apart or some dumb shit like that.
Yeah. Yeah.
So a lot of those scenes were funny with the mechanic couple, them just bickering about like how to a lot of the, and then like the scene with the wife, the wife mechanic, like she's learning how to dance and shit.
Yeah. Yeah, those are good. Those are funny scenes. But then they, as soon as they listen to the cassette, the dad's like, I knew he was involved. I'm calling the cops. And she's like, he wasn't involved. At that moment, Nick shows up. Broken nose.
He's like,
and he's like, hey, everyone. And they're just not because this little kid had just been kidnapped. And he's like, I saw him. And they're like, where? Who? What? And he's trying to remember the street and put two and two together that the kid was on the back of the motorcycle with Vanilla Ice.
Yeah.
And Kat just still can't believe it. And as the dad is calling the cops, she makes that decision, snatches that cassette, bolts. Just like you said, this is during the day. This would probably be a what? Maybe like a 4:30 at the very latest? Maybe?
Well, yeah, because they were cruising around on a motorcycle. And
right. They had it was after school because, she hasn't graduated yet. And so that means the kid would still be in school. And if he's in Little League, that would be like an after school activity. So we'll say 4:30.
4:35 maybe at the latest.
Yeah. So it's still light outside, especially for that time of year. By the time, so when she leaves, it's sunny outside. By the time she gets down the block to Vanilla Ice, pitch black.
Pitch black outside.
Yeah.
Dark.
Yeah.
Dark.
That's what we were talking about with bad lighting. Bad dated continuity. Like it just doesn't match up.
Terrible editing.
Yeah.
So they're listening to the tape, and this is when Vanilla Ice becomes Bruce Wayne, the world's most famous detective. He's not like, hold on, play that back. Hold on, play that back. You hear that? Play it back. There's like, then you finally hear like ting ting or some shit. He's like, I've been there before. Hold on, like, and then Kat's like, it's the fucking construction site.
Yeah.
Boom. All right.
I think that scene was probably meant, or I don't say it was meant to go on longer, but it probably did end up going on longer because Vanilla Ice probably did have to listen to it numerous times. The actress was just like, it's a construction site.
she just got that up. They're like, tape listening scene, take 75. Yeah. She's just fed up at this point.
She's like, the construction site.
Director's not like,
okay,
go with that one.
Yeah.
Put it in. So they're cruising to the construction site. The hooligans are just like shining their flashlight. They're like a couple of times they're pretending like they're lightsabers and they're like cutting the kid in half. Like
there couldn't have been. It was just like go loose or here's a couple of lines, but just improvise.
Yeah. Yeah, and they're bickering to each other and they're also just like berating this fucking little kid. They're just saying like a bunch of awful shit to him. I don't know. It's hilarious.
It is. And then they pull up all of the motorcycles, and that's when they somehow realize, even with the binoculars, that it is Vanilla Ice because of the bricks on his head.
Yeah.
Yeah. How they could even see that with the binoculars, I don't know.
So then they all pretend to leave. Like all the motorcycles pretend to leave, and they're like, "Yeah, fuck those guys." Then they start talking shit to the kid more. Then they drive through the drywall in the building, and I'm pretty sure there's no way for the motorcycles to get up to where they were because they were obviously on like the second floor. They were not on a ground level. Like they were like obviously looking down
Yeah.
to where Vanilla Ice and stuff and them were. So there was no way for those motorcycles to get up there to drive through the drywall.
But somehow Cat very easily over to the kid, got him and put him on a motorcycle very easily.
Yeah.
And then you see the outside of the building, and the parents are there and they're hugging each other, and there are cops around and everything, and then all of a sudden, gone.
No, I was like, they're not outside the like this construction building. Like they steal the criminals, the ex-police officers, they steal their car, and somehow, because now they have someone driving the car, and then somehow all the bikes still return.
Yeah.
But they'd be one driver short.
Right.
Unless Kat was driving the car, but Kat wasn't driving the car. It was the one black girl with the really cool pants that was driving the car
on her own motorcycle with the kid.
Maybe, and I think Kat was still riding with Johnny, Vanilla Ice. Yes. So they were driver short, but all the bikes still made it back.
Yeah, and
even though she knows how to ride a bike now, but either way, like
yeah. And so everything's good. The dad from Family Ties finally gives Vanilla Ice a handshake approval. So everything's good. The kid's returned. And the mom, of course, thinks that the kidnappers did something to his hair. And he's like, no, it's me. I did it.
I did this.
And so she starts to ride off with Vanilla Ice.
Well, no, first he's like, I'm leaving, right? And she's like, I thought we were leaving. Fucking boom. Like, and she turns into a douchebag.
Yeah. So it happens when she starts hanging out with him that much. So.
I guess they're like, I guess personalities are like sponges.
Yeah. And so, but then as she's riding away, Nick pulls up. And he's like, yeah, be happy if you're just gonna,
You're just gonna become a biker slut.
Yeah. And then it happens. Vanilla Ice is like, forgot something. They turn around. And just pure magic again. That motorcycle just sails over Nick's car.
He uses it as a ramp.
Yeah. Yes. And then there's another concert scene, but sadly, and we both agree this truly sadly, Naomi Campbell's not a part of it.
They have some other singer who is not doing a bad job, but not crushing it like Naomi Campbell was.
No, she was doing a good job at the beginning, and that was a little disappointing. And she's there, she's dancing. Kat, she's looking all sophisticated now because she's the girlfriend of a musician. I don't even know a musician. She's just the girlfriend of Vanilla Ice.
She's like Billy Joe from Green Day's wife, where she was like, apparently she was like the first ever fucking like groupie slut that was part of the band Green Day, and then like, and now her and Billy Joe are married. So that's what Kat is. Like Kat's like the first groupie slut of like Vanilla Ice's crew, and they're gonna end up getting married probably. I don't know, but like,
no matter what they do, they are going to be together forever
for a very long time. That's a very long time.
Yeah, there's just this line. He's dancing around. He's saying it. He's like forever, and that's a very long time.
Very long time.
Yeah, it is. It's forever.
It's forever, man. It's like that, like the figure eight, and you turn it sideways. Like
it's infinity. And then that's it. And then we saw the entertaining credits where a lot of people had nicknames like Beats and
like the credits themselves Like, there's nothing like going on that's crazy to make the credits entertaining. It's just the people's names that are in the credits, and like a lot of stuff that had like where you should have like a lot of people involved, where it only had like maybe like a few people involved, like for like editors or like costume design. I don't like there were spots where like in like big budget like movies and stuff that you'll see today where you'll when it gets to that section, there's a lot of people, but when it got to that section in this movie, barely any people involved, and I don't know. It's all in all, it's super entertaining. I give it like a 6 out of 10.
I'd give it a 7 just because it does live up to that like promise of the premise. It does live up to that teen idol movie expectations.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna give it a 7, even though I'm not a fan. Although we both agreed if we were given the chance to hang out with 90s Vanilla Ice
I totally
on
would.
a construction site, we totally would.
Hell yeah, if there's a horse and a motorcycle involved, dude, sign me up.
A chase scene, and yet we don't even have to chase him. Like, yeah, we don't. He's not chasing us. Like, yeah.
Yeah. We're just like taking turns chasing the cameraman around, like, tag, you're it.
Yeah. Yeah.
I recommend you guys finding it somehow. We watch it on a bootleg website that I use. I'm not gonna say the name of it because like I don't know if that's allowed. Yeah. Like if we were just recording on Twitch, yeah, no problem. But YouTube is weird, and yeah.
But no, it was entertaining for what it was.
Absolutely.
You know, I'm surprised it was that. I was kind of thinking it would be something. I mean, I'm not saying it was a great movie. I'm just saying that, again, for what it was, the style of movie and the purpose of it being made and stuff, I was surprised at how entertaining it was. And you do find new things every single time you watch it.
Yeah, we watch it twice. The second time we watch it, we were finding out different stuff, and then like we were paying attention to the timing of the scenes and more.
Yeah, and even my boss, she's like, yeah, because I told her, I'm like, yeah, after like the second time of watching it, like you just find new things, and she's like, oh yeah, you find stuff every single time you watch
it. We're not giving it enough credit, like of how good or like silly or funny or whatever it is. Like,
right?
Like, also we're ad-libbing a lot of like the dialogue and stuff that happened because
it's kind of like Kingdom of the Spiders. We're not giving it enough credit.
Yeah.
As to the enjoyability factor.
So, Jay Martin.
Yes.
You got to go find it on your own. Find a VHS of it. Find it on some bootleg website. It might be free on YouTube. I didn't even look.
I don't think it is. That's actually what I was going to do now with go and take a peek, but I want to say it is not. I think the trailer is.
Oh man, I'm gonna look for the trailer. That's hilarious.
Oh yeah, there is. Oh, and there's even a best quotes from Cool as Ice video. Yes. And so you can buy or rent it on YouTube for what is the cost? It doesn't say. I am going to just. No, I'm not signing in. No. But no, there are, and then there are quite a few scenes like Drop That Zero. There's the opening credits with Naomi Campbell.
How nosy all the neighbors are.
Yes, there is the it's called The People's Choice.
There's the band.
It's a movie clip. And it's where he's doing the rap for the Be Myself. Yeah.
Drop that zero and get with
only showing the lightning bolts on his head. They're not showing the bricks.
Yeah.
Sometimes I'd like to do something really wild just because I never have.
You ain't true. You ain't true to nobody.
There we go.
Yeah.
I want you to stay away from him.
He's not what you think he is. My brother's been kidnapped.
What we want, Jim, do a collection on an old IOU. You're the eye. I'm with you.
You're all wrong. You didn't do anything.
Come on, get on. You know that, Catherine.
I trusted Dad.
Oh yes, he was.
An uncool world. And kill it.
There you go.
Well, I hope you like being a biker chick because you're not going to see me or my car again. Imagine that. From Universal Pictures, cool as ice.
That's cool.
I
that
forgot
they use-
about that in the beginning of the movie. He is actually holding on to what at first we thought was, well, there was a microphone, but then we thought it was like an illuminated microphone.
Yeah.
But come to find out, it was just one of those lights that you hang with the book, and he's just like holding on to it, like and just like rapping into it, and that's what we found the second time around.
Yeah, that was one of those.
Yeah.
I'm looking forward to things we might find on a third viewing, but we'll get to we'll do that some other time. We got plenty of other bad movies to watch.
I think the next one. What was your pick? I know my pick was Blood Beach from 1980.
My pick was Pauly Shore is Dead.
That's right. Yes. Yeah, I miss the 90s too, Jamie, because we were talking about how 90s dance music was just awesome, because that would just appear in the movie, whether or not it was his song or not. And it's like, I kind of miss that music, you know? And for me, I am going to sound like a boomer, and Hentai Slayer can say this all he wants, but I am going to sound like a boomer. Listening to music for me from like maybe junior high, so like the 95, 96-ish time, but definitely from 96 to 2000 when I was in high school. Definitely some of the best music. But so many people say that about their high school years. So I feel like I am truly getting that old and being the boomer, because I'm like, my high school music was the best music. It was.
Fuck all that wet ass pussy bullshit.
Yeah, you saw my
I did see that, but watch Freaked. All right, I'm actually starting a list of stuff that you guys are recommending.
Yeah.
I need my pencil. Ah.
I love music. I do too. I really like 90s on 9 on Sirius XM. I listen to that, Pop Rocks, and the Beatles channel the most. Although 80s on 8 I'll listen to, but I do listen to 90s on 9. So I like that. Because some of it then goes back to those days when I was like a real little kid into New Kids on the Block. And I remember watching like MTV and seeing some of these other bands and, you know, artists. And maybe you heard of them just once and that was it. Okay, boomer. I am. Yeah, because my 20-year reunion would have been this year, but it's postponed to next year.
My 20-year is in 5 years, obviously, because we have that gap. But
yeah, but yeah. So, what do you have on your list? You're adding Freaked, I take it.
I added Freaked. There was that one that Godzilla fan recommended. I forgot what it was, because
them or something about the ants.
There was them, and then there was another one that he recommended.
Yeah,
I'll ask him. I'll ask him in the Discord chat.
I was gonna say I haven't seen Godzilla fan for a while.
He was on my earlier stream when I was doing the drawing, so he's around.
Oh, okay.
But yeah. That kid is such an old soul, man. Like,
yeah,
I love it.
Like all these movies from the 50s and everything. So yeah.
That kid is cool. And he'll start talking in Russian, whatever. Like that.
Yeah. But yeah, so there's a story for me behind Blood Beach. I won't go into it until we actually do the review. But I've told you a couple times. But it is entertaining to say the least. And so that's why I chose that, even though I vowed never to watch it ever again because it's that bad. Yeah, it's that bad. So
Well, everyone, thanks for tuning in. Thank you, Reika,
yeah,
for
thank you.
I always have a good time with you. You're
I
great.
too, man. I always have a good time with you too. No, I'm kidding.
I always have a good time with myself too. That's why I'm
Yeah.
a loner.
I am just a loner. I have so much fun.
Great 90s comedy. So bad it's great. Oh, yes.
Okay.
Honestly, Jamie.
Yeah.
Yes, thank you guys all for tuning in.
Thank you. And
I'm pretty sure Tuesday we're doing part 2. Me and Jeremy are doing part 2 of the Adam Sandler marathon. So
nice.
I'm still editing video from part 1 to put on the Patreon. And there's a link to the Patreon in the description. There's a link to Nasser's books on Amazon in the description below. And there's always the link to the Burbank Senior Name Makes Me Happy WeinerCast theme song. Or not always, but I've been putting it in the last 2. So
yeah, and
all that
great
stuff.
chatting, Jamie. We haven't seen you, or I haven't seen you for a while.
I see you guys at the grocery store all the time, so I don't miss people too much. But
yeah.
See you guys next time. See you Tuesday.
Bye.
My broken.